I've been in Bali for almost 3 weeks now. Whoa, not trying to break anything. And I wanted to share my honest opinion about Bali in case you might want to try this yourself, and in case you're wondering what it's like. I'm 22 years old and I make money online, so I'm an entrepreneur, so that's why I'm able to do this without working a job at home or anything. The main things that I've noticed here is obviously you're going to live on your own. So I'm 22 and I lived at home before this in the Netherlands. That's a big switch, like independence and having your own place. For me, it was more beneficial than it had negatives, because at home I was already always cooking my own dinner. I was always doing everything myself. I was already working for 6 months on entrepreneurship, full time at home. I quit my job 6 months prior to that. So I was already used to living on my own, even though my parents were just around. But I made my own dinner, I did my own laundry, whatever. I walked the dog, blah, blah, blah. Super basic things, but I was already used to my own life. So if that's not you, that might be a big change for you. But for me, it was very, very easy. For me, it were just mainly benefits, because now I can just invite friends over. I can just have the complete solitude and peace at home when I want. And I can decide to go to the gym. I can decide to go out. I can decide to get girls over. That's the second thing. So at home, I was quite locked in my routine, and I didn't really have anything outside of my routine. I had a couple of friends, but most of them were online anyway. And my routine was just gym, work, and eating, basically sleeping, eating. It was very boring. I never did almost anything. I went out for dinner in the last few weeks because I started making real money in the last few weeks. That's also why I decided to move out there, because it's a challenge and this will improve you as an entrepreneur. But the girls, I wasn't really the guy that approached girls or that went out with a lot of girls in the Netherlands. Here, it's way easier. I joined the most high-end gym possible here, Nirvana, if you're familiar here. It has a pool, it has a sauna, whatever. And people are just very social. So if you don't put in your AirPods and you're locked in artist mode, it's very easy to make new friends. I shook a lot of hands already. You become way more social. People in Bali, the weather is nice. People are just more happy. They're more open. They're more social. It's definitely worth it if you feel like that you could be a bit more extroverted, because I don't really believe in the introvert-extrovert. It's just a balance. I can be introverted and I can be extroverted. The balance just changed a little bit when you get challenged more. So at home, I was around, not at home specifically, at home all my family did work a 9 to 5 or went to school, so not really entrepreneurs, but also my friends didn't do entrepreneurship. So I didn't really feel like speaking about entrepreneurship with them, so I didn't really speak with a lot of people. Here, I'm around like-minded people all the time, in the gym, in the work cafe, the friends that I have that they come over, all of them are like-minded, so I speak a lot more about my passion and about my work. So it's also, it's easier to become social. But to get back on the point on the girls' part, that's just easier as well. So I'm 6'7", a blonde, tall guy, hopefully a little bit of muscle, a little bit of a good physique. So in general, it's not super hard to get girls if you have a decent physique, if you are decently looking. In general, it's not super hard to get girls because the competition is just terrible. So if you put in a little bit of effort, you can get them. And the easiest part is here, I have my own place. I can 2 rooms, but one of them is obviously not being used because I'm here alone. So it would be stupid to use 2 rooms. So you can just invite someone over, and at home you couldn't really without being ashamed of being super loud. So that's easier here if you feel like you have the capabilities of getting girls, but you just feel a little bit weird because it's at home and your parents are there. It's a big benefit here. Lust is a distraction, but it's also, you need it as a man, so it's worth it. That's the second thing, and then the last and third thing is cost, how much money do I make, how much do I spend. I currently make a little bit over 3K a month, and that's way more than enough that you need in Bali. So this villa was, if you want it per month, I think it was 2.1K, so $2,100. That's quite expensive, but I had it for 10 days, and the first 5 were split with a friend of mine, so it wasn't that expensive. You can always decide to take a little bit of a smaller place. If you're alone and you don't need this much, you can go to a guest house, which is $30 per night. You can really live here on 1K a month if you watch out with your money. But everything, you feel like a king. The gym that I went to is $200 per month. A little bit expensive, but if you make 3K or 5K or whatever, it's worth it. Like, you are around high-end individuals. If you know Hamza, the self-improvement YouTuber, he goes there. I just recently heard that the guy that sold consulting.com, so you know Sam Ovens, he had this business, consulting.com. The guy that bought it from him, because Sam Ovens sold the company, that guy, that billionaire, I believe, he's a billionaire, he walks around there as well at Nirvana, and tons of successful guys. So just making connections and just casually talking with very high-end individuals, it's just very easy there. And once again, you can do this in your hometown, whatever, where you live. It's just way more, it's just easier here. Like, people are more social, it's more close. You can just order like a Grab scooter, and they just, they pop up here in front of your villa or your house, and they just bring you wherever for like €1 or €2. Life is just more fun. It feels like home. So my life in the Netherlands is a complete different thing than here. You live like a king, even though you don't spend that much. I spend probably about 20 or 30 bucks per day on food and everything in total. Obviously, the gym is more expensive. Obviously, if you bring a girl over and you order some drinks or some food for her, it's more expensive. If you do whatever, if you go out for dinner a lot, it's more expensive. But you can live here on very cheap expenses, and it's definitely worth it. Only for the environment and the people that you hang out with. It's way more fun. You have your own place, you have your own responsibilities, you can decide to log in, you don't have to wait. Like, for me, when I was recording videos, I record quite a bit of videos and have quite a bit of meetings throughout the week. So I kind of had to schedule them around my parents being active or my sister being active, because otherwise you will just hear it on camera or in the call, which is just unfortunate. The door just went open, but there's no one. It's just the wind, so I was looking if no one randomly came in. Super safe here as well, just like extra tip. It's super safe here. I just put like my fanny pack and my backpack with a laptop, iPhone, Apple Watch, passport, a wallet, which has like $100 in it. Anything, I just put it down in the gym somewhere. And then at the end of the session and the end of the sauna, whatever, I came back and it was still there, like nothing was stolen. Same thing here, I can literally leave the door open of this villa probably for the whole week and no one will randomly come in. People will probably look like, what the fuck, why is this door open? That's random. But no one will randomly steal anything from you. So it's very safe. If you are a girl and you're worried, don't worry. Kangju and Ubud are very safe. A girl was actually over yesterday and she's a local, so I asked her, what's the most dangerous place of Bali? And she said that Denpasar, something. I think it's the capital. That's a very unsafe place. So if you're worried about crime and about those things, if you don't want to feel unsafe, just avoid that place. But all the other places are very safe. Never felt unsafe. Never had any like group of people watching at me weird, like, and I look expensive, like a white guy with an Apple Watch, with an iPhone, backpack with a MacBook, whatever. I kind of look expensive for the general person here, but never did I feel unsafe. They didn't look weird at me, obviously, like you were different than them, so they kind of look a little bit strange, like, who the fuck are you? Why are you so tall? But not unsafe, nothing, never really felt in danger, so that's my honest thoughts about my first 3 weeks in Bali, and if you should do it as an entrepreneur yourself. If you have any other questions about Bali or about moving out as a young entrepreneur, just leave it in the comments, because I'm very down to just tell my stories and tell my experiences on this channel, because I also kind of took this risk because I know that I will gain a lot of stories from it. So you will just have a lot more experiences which you can tell to your friends, to girls that you go out with, to your parents when you come home, to family. It's just more fun. You become a more interesting individual. So thanks for watching. Leave any comments, any questions in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.